In this episode, we're going to talk about why passive income is so incredibly important. I want you to think for a second of all the lottery winners that you've heard that have gone broke, winning millions of dollars, yet they're broke just a few years later. Or the athletes, or the musicians, or the actors, like celebrities, right? Why, those people are making more money than most of us will ever see. Why do those people go broke within just a few years of the large payday or their time in the sport ending? Why do those people go broke? First of all, it's because they have such little financial intelligence. That's the main reason. But after that, it's because they generally don't have any passive income built up. They are reliant 100% on an active income source. So active income is a job, is a salary, is earnings from a sport, something like that. That is active income, something we are putting out through energy, through work, through talent, and in turn we're getting paid back. Whereas passive income, that's investments that are off to the side that are paying us every single month. So passive income is where financial prosperity lies, right? A person can make a ton of money throughout their life, but when they have living expenses and taxes and everything else that's going to, they're going to find that there's not a whole lot left at the end of the day. Whereas passive income, when that passive income builds up and builds up and builds up through continuous investing, that's where the gold is. So we're going to talk about why passive income is so important. So first off, we're going to talk about age and energy, right? This is an important lesson that my mentor taught me many years ago. He said, Mark, there's going to come a time where your energy is not what it is right now. This is about 10 years ago. I was young 30s and had no problem whatsoever working 12-hour days, working really hard. And I remember saying that, and of course at that time it didn't really register because I had a surplus of energy. And now we're 10 years later, and what he said is starting to ring true, right? Just in my 40s. In another 10 years, it's going to be even more true. Another 10 years, more true. So we naturally age, right? That's something we cannot stop. So if we expect ourselves to rely on an active income source for our lifetime, we're going to come to find that as we get into our later years, 50s, 60s, 70s, we're going to have a very hard time keeping up. Most people don't want to keep working in their 60s, and certainly in their 70s. They want to be able to retire very comfortably. Sad part is, very, very few can. So that is the one reason, is age and energy, right? It's something we cannot escape. It's something that'll hit us all. So we have to be able to set ourselves up for that time when we don't want to keep working hard, right? We want to be able to start taking time off, and we have to have a passive income source that does that for us so that we can start relying on that passive income and say, okay, it's time to take a break. It's time to start taking more time off. So 2 is forward thinking versus present and emotional thinking. So when we have a passive income source that's coming in, and even if we're not dependent on it right now, like for example, right now I have a bunch of rentals that pay me every single month, but I'm not dependent on them, right? We're still making money from sales, wholesales and flips and some other stuff. So I'm not dependent on that passive income, but because it's there, I know I can be present thinking or future thinking. I can be thinking about the future and making sure that what I'm doing is going to benefit me in the future, not just now. So it allows me to be future thinking because I have that backing me. Whereas if we don't have any type of passive income, it's very hard to be thinking in the future, and instead we're thinking present tense. And generally when we're thinking present tense, we're making emotional-based decisions. And generally when we're making emotional-based decisions, those do not benefit us long-term. Though sometimes we're making emotional-based decisions, those are actually not things that benefit us much at all, and sometimes can hurt us, but we have to, right? So example, I was just having a conversation where, we used to flip a ton of houses because we had to, right? We had to flip the houses in order to cover payroll, in order to cover expenses, in order to meet living expenses. And because of that, we ended up with a huge tax liability, right? And that ended up becoming a burden. Whereas if I had the ability to be forward thinking and could have been focused more on passive income, it would have lessened that tax liability. So lots of different circumstances that can ring true with. And then 3 is it relieves pressure. When we have passive income, also considered continuity, right? Whether it's continuity through, through royalties or passive income through rentals, there's lots of different ways to set this up. But when we have that, it relieves pressure, right? We're not so dependent on going out for a sale. Instead, we can be focused on that passive income. When we have a business where we have continuity or passive income coming in, we're not so focused on trying to build attain that customer for that big payday right now, and we can focus on bigger things. It relieves the pressure because we don't have to worry about meeting those expenses for that month, right? So having the passive income relieves a lot of pressure in our business, and also relieves pressure personally because we're not so reliant on meeting the bills, meeting the expenses, meeting the overhead for that month. So focus on the passive income for these reasons. And when you hit the point where your passive income exceeds your living expenses, it's like the clouds open up and you realize, like, this is what I should have been doing all along. Unfortunately, they don't teach us in school, right? They don't teach us, hardly anybody teaches us. But when your passive income exceeds your expenses, then everything else is a bonus. Any amount of money you make is a bonus. And either one, you can invest it or you can play with it. But it becomes optional what you do when you hit that point. And that's, in the rest of the series, that's what we're really gonna be focusing on, is how to start building this out so that you can build a passive income that takes care of you, that takes care of your life, that takes care of your family, makes it much, much easier to deal with. Hey, thanks for watching. If you would, please go over to marklaneeducation.com and check it out. I should have plenty of free resources for you there to help you on this journey of real estate, of your wealth building, help you become better, more prosperous, more financially free. Check it out now, download one of the free resources, and I will see you on the inside.